Hi guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another part in my $10 and under Dollar Tree DIY series. We're in the middle of Halloween, it's only a few weeks away now. And what we're going to make today is a spell book, and it's inspired by one of my favorite Halloween movies, and that is Hocus Pocus. So we're going to make our own version of the Hocus Pocus spell book for under $10 using stuff from the Dollar Tree. Now a few of the items this week I did have to get from Target just because my Dollar Tree didn't stock them, but they were under $1 each. So it is the equivalent of buying at the Dollar Tree. So what you're going to need is a hardcover book. I just picked up a book from the Dollar Tree, so apologies to Michael Hastings. I'm sure this is a great book, but I just wanted a book with a hardcover. So we're going to take this off and we're going to cover this with our supplies. You are going to need an Elmer's glue. You can get this at the Dollar Tree for $1. I've got this in the back to school sales for 50 cents at Target, but it still works out under $10 even if you do pay the full price. The two items I got for Target were paint. You need two different shades of brown, a light and a dark. These were 98 cents each at Target, so again they fall under the dollar price range anyway. You're going to need a packet of snakes. They have these out for Halloween, but you can usually get them in the toy section anyway any time of the year. You're going to want a packet of eyeballs. These are basically just ping pong balls. So if you can't find any eyeballs, you could grab a ping pong ball or table tennis ball and paint an eyeball on yourself. You need a packet of foam sponges, a roll of paper towel, and just a bowl that you can pour your glue into. It won't ruin the bowl necessarily, but have one that you're either willing to throw away if you've got a disposable plastic one, or just a cheap, I'm using an old Tupperware that's on its last legs. So that's what you're going to need, and you're also going to need a glue gun and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. So the very first step is to take your bowl and take your Elmer's glue and pop some glue into the bowl. So let's do as much as you think you're going to need, and then add in some water until it's slimy and gooey, but a little bit runny. So that's what we're going to go do. So I've got my Elmer's glue with a little bit of water in. As you can see, it's runny, but it's still quite thick and goopy. Then we're going to take some paper towel, and basically we're going to create a skin-like cover on the book. We're just going to take pieces of paper towel, lay them on top, scrunch them up a little bit, and then cover it in Elmer's glue. Now it is completely up to you. You can just do the one front and the side, or if you want to have both sides done, you can do the back side as well. It's obviously up to you. If you're going to have it leaning up against a wall, you may only want to do the front and the side, but if you want a full complete look, make sure you cover the back as well. So that's what we're going to do. So once you've got the whole book covered in your paper towel, the next step is unfortunately the least fun part, and you have to wait for the Elmer's glue to dry. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it sit here and let it dry. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, and then we'll come back and finish decorating. So guys, it's been about an hour and our book is dry now. There are a few tiny wet patches, but that's okay for now because we're going to let it dry again in a second. So what you're going to do is take out your eyeballs and snakes, and we're going to pop them on how it's going to be displayed to look like the Hocus Pocus spellbook. So with the eyeball, you'll need to take one and you'll need to break it in part because you're only going to need the top half, and it's going to sit sort of right in the center, just about an inch in. We're going to have two full snakes, and they are going to go along the inner edge of the book like that. Don't worry if they fall off for now. Then we're going to get two more snakes, and we're just going to twist them into little pieces. I literally took the tail end of one and just wrapped it through like that, and that is going to sit in the corner here. Sorry, let me just fix that one up again. And they're going to sit one in each of the top corners like that. So we've got our glue gun. We're just going to glue each of these down. I have got one more snake. I'm going to show you that once we pop the eyeball on, because you're going to need to see how it sits. So let's glue each of these on. So I've glued my snakes and my eyeball on. The first thing we want to do is actually take a little bit more paper towel and our Elmer's glue, because we're going to create the eyelids for the eyeball. So we're just going to glue a little strip on top and a little strip on the bottom, just so it looks like it's got some skin around the eye. So that's what we're going to do now. So as you can see, we've added a bit of paper towel on either side, just so we have the eyelid. And then what you can do if you want to create the lock to make it look identical to the, as identical as it can be to the Hocus Pocus book, you can take little bits of the snake, cut that up and put it around the outside so it forms sort of that lock shape. So we're going to attempt to do that now. So I've cut up my snake to form the lock shape. What I'm going to do is actually wait for the eyeball eyelids to dry first, and then we're going to glue this on with our hot glue like everything else. If your snake starts to pop up, just add a bit more glue down to hold it down, and once it's fully dry, then we can get on to the next step. What you're going to also want to do, just to make it look seamless, is take some of your glue and go around the edges of the snakes just so it looks like it sits down properly with that. So we're going to do that, and then we'll wait for everything to dry. So we're back and everything has fully dried now. I've got my hot glue gun plugged in, so we're going to glue those last little bits of snake around the eyeball, and then we're going to do some designing with our hot glue gun. So let's glue the snakes on first, and then I'll show you how to do the designs. So that is what it looks like with everything glued on. We're now going to use our glue gun to create a scar pattern over the front of the book. We'll basically use it to create raised lines running around different shapes to make it look like a skin patchwork, as nasty as that sounds, and then go across each bit of line once it's done to make it look like stitches. So that's what we're going to do now. So as you can see, I've used the glue gun to do stitch marks all across the front cover. I'm going to repeat some of this on the side and the back, but not as much. Then once we're going to finish that, then we can get into painting. So now that we've put all our things, our accessories on top of our book, what you need to do now is take your dark brown paint, pop it in the top of a paper plate, tiny splash of water just to thin it out a bit, and then we're going to use one of our paintbrushes to paint over the top of pretty much everything. So let's do that. So I have my paint, my little foam brush, and now we're just going to get to painting. So this is what it looks like with one coat of paint of just the dark brown. It does take a while because you are stamping it on, but as you can see, the stitches show up and it looks mottled like skin. So we're going to finish painting the rest. It does take a while, as I said, guys. We'll do that and then we'll come back and we'll do the second colour. So as you can see, even with just one coat of paint, it's looking pretty fantastic already, but we are going to take a slightly lighter brown and model it over with just another clean sponge brush, mainly between the stitches, just to add a bit of texture and depth. In between the snakes, you may want to just grab a Q-tip just to try and get in those small spots where they haven't been able to get paint, but it doesn't really matter too much because it just makes the book look aged anyway. So let's do the second colour. So I just wanted to point out my second colour was probably a teeny bit too light, so I did add in a bit of the darker brown just to give me sort of a medium shade. But as you can see, it now looks a bit more depth, a bit more texture because you've got the different colors between your stitches. The last thing I'm going to do, and I forgot to mention this at the start, is I'm going to grab a silver Sharpie or silver paint if you have any. It still would be under $10. I just didn't have any paint at the store. And then I'm going to trace around the snakes and the lock in silver because that's how it looks in Hocus Pocus. So as I said, the last step is to take some silver paint or a silver Sharpie. I'm getting a Sharpie because I just think that's easier. And we're going to colour in these two snakes going down the outside, the two snakes in the corner, and the lock around the eye. Obviously you've got to wait for your paint to fully dry first, but if you grab the same paint I did, which I should have said at the start, is Delta Creative Ceramic Coat from Target. It has a 15-minute dry time, so it shouldn't take too long. And the shades I ended up getting were Burnt Umber and Trail Tan. So once this is fully dry, we'll take our Sharpie and we'll get them colouring. So the last step, guys, is to paint our snakes in a silver. And here is the secret of crafting. Sometimes it doesn't work out. My plan had been just to use a silver Sharpie I had on hand to just paint them up or colour them in. Didn't quite work, so I did have to run out and grab some silver paint. Now this one did cost more than $1, but it's still, the whole project is still under $10. This one was $2.49 at Target, but it is an acrylic melted metallic steel in pewter, and I just think that's going to look really good. So the cost for everything, when you add this into it, I spent what's this, $5 at Target, $2.50 on this one, $1 on each of those, and 50 cents on the Elmer's glue. And then at the Dollar Tree I spent $5, $1 on the book, $1 on paper towel, $1 on the foam brushes, $1 on the snakes, and $1 on the packet of eyeballs. So it's still only $10, and if you use paper towel at home, it's a $9 project. Hopefully you already have paper towel, but I did add that in the cost either way. So yes, this one was more than $1, but the project is still less than 10. So what we're going to do now is take a brush and paint over the four snakes, 2 on the side, 2 on each corner, and around the sort of lock of feature on the eye, and then we shall be done. So I've got my silver paint, and let's get painting. Now, because foam brushes are not the most precise, I've got a little bit of silver on the outsides that I want to get rid of, so I'm just going to take my brown brush I used before and use the excess paint on that just to cover that over, and then we will be done. So this, if I can pick it up, guys, is your final product. A spooky Halloween Hocus Pocus spell book. I think it looks really good. I'll insert a picture of the actual one here so you can see what it was meant to look like. And as we've done all the sides now, you can either have it sitting like that on a table, on a mantle, or on a coffee table, however you want to put it. So that is the project, guys. It is super easy. Yes, it is a bit time consuming because you have to wait for each layer to dry, but I think the end result is worth it. For under $10, you've got an at-home do-it-yourself movie prop replica. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, share, or comment below. If you've not yet done so, I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. And if you're a subscriber, make sure you've got that bell icon clicked so you're notified every time I post a new video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. And so will he. Bye.